Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So there was recently a video put out by an artist calling out Beyonce for keeping quiet on an important matter, and she made a live and posted it to her Instagram account, and I feel like a lot of people misunderstood what she was saying and why she made the video, and I kind of wanted to address it based on my understanding. Obviously, I did not speak to this artist, I did not speak to anyone involved, so this is all my opinion, but I wanted to talk about why she was calling Beyonce out specifically and why people misunderstood what she was saying. The artist's name is Tiwa Savage. She's a Nigerian artist. She's an award-winning artist. She's been an artist for a while, so she's not new on the scene. She's made songs with Omarion and some other artists, many artists actually, around the world, in Europe, in Africa, and here as well. Sam Smith is another artist that she has made a song with. She was also featured in Beyonce's Keys to the Kingdom, in her album Black is King. Tiwa Savage was one of the artists, the African artists that Beyonce worked with. Beyonce also worked with a lot of African producers and singers and directors and etc. So basically, she's a well-respected artist and she's well known among certain circles. So before I go into it, I am going to play a recording. It's a snippet of the thing that she said, and I'm going to show you guys what people's responses were and what I think of all of this madness. Her video is basically going to be about the facts that Nigerian youth are experiencing the same difficulties as American youth with their police over there. It's basically the same thing, except the police there are Nigerians, they're not white.
Nigeria is probably the strongest black nation in the world. And myself and, people that I know, they lent their voices to, Black Lives Matter. I remember, like the whole world. We lent our voices, we lent our support. Even if we didn't go out to protest, we used our social media, we used our platform. I was involved recently in a project that I was so proud of. Like, as an artist, I was so proud to be called and to be amongst the few people that were involved in this project. It's called Black is King, the Gift album. So I'm going to say this, please do not quote me out of context, but I want to use my platform right now to call Beyonce and the whole team that reached out to a lot of Nigerians, Nigerian artists, Nigerian producers, Nigerian video directors, dancers, creatives. I'm calling on Beyonce and her team the same way they use their platform, and so grateful for that. The same way they use their platform to elevate and to show the world that Black is King and how beautiful Afrobeat and Africa and our culture is. I want them to please use their voice and their platform. So I'm calling on Beyonce and the whole team, and I'm telling you, you cannot ignore this. You cannot be quiet, because we all celebrated the Black is King. I personally was so proud to be part of that project, but please, you cannot be quiet on this. Also, all the DSPs, thank you so much. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, SoundCloud, all these amazing platforms that have supported Afrobeat music and Afrobeat artists, all of us that have given us a platform and have elevated our genre of music to people who would not necessarily listen to our music. I'm calling you guys out now. I'm saying, please use your platform, use your voice, because there might be someone out there who hasn't heard of what's going on in Nigeria, but they will through your platform. Please, please, we need you. We need your help. We need your support. We need bigger support outside of Nigeria. Like Nike, like different companies that have, supported us with our Nigerian jerseys in the past. Like we need you guys. We need artists from everywhere around the world. Like, and just huge shout out to all the artists that have like used their platform already. Like I see Trey Songz, Cardi B, Drake, Lil Baby. Like I see a few of you guys like that have lent your voices, but that's not enough. Like we need more. We need more of you guys. We need international press to keep talking about this. We need CNN, Sahara Reports, MTV, Trace, everybody. Like.
So that's as much of the clip as I'm going to show. Now let me show you guys the responses that people were leaving. I was on Shade Room. I saw some of people's responses to the video because the video was posted on Shade Room as well. And these are the insane and ignorant responses that people were leaving under the post. So this person said, "We can't fix Africa. Why can't Africa fix itself?" Another person said, "Not y'all discrediting Beyonce for all that she's done for Africa and the people for not visibly showing y'all what she's more than likely already doing." Directly underneath that, someone else said, "I must have missed the part where Beyonce or anyone else has ended police brutality in America. Seem like we're all still fighting for the same thing everywhere." And then someone else said, "We still need justice for Emmett Till." Calling out a woman who gave you an opportunity to do something great is so unprofessional. And then another ignorant person said, "I'm just wondering why America, the only country to interject themselves in foreign affairs that don't involve us. We got our own issues here where we actually live, sis." And there were some positive comments, and I'm going to read a few of those as well. Someone says, "She's 100% correct. If you can use these people to make your album pop, the least you can do is help bring awareness to their plight." Another smart person says, "I think what she's getting at is for someone who uses Africa for her artistry, Beyonce is awfully quiet during these tough times. We know Beyonce isn't the answer to the problem, but her support would mean a lot to the people and will bring more attention to the issue." And, she said other things besides that. This is one of the more intelligent responses that I found there. And they said this: "The big picture here is that there is a crisis happening in Nigeria. There has been not enough media coverage on it. So firstly, let me address the fact that Nigerians and other African nations stood up for BLM and protested. The least that Black people from America can do is bring light to the situation and others happening across Africa. So I'm asking Black Americans to reciprocate the same energy. Whether you like it or not, Beyonce did Black is King that heavily promoted Nigerian culture. She cannot use our culture when it's convenient to break stereotypes, but the list not say a word, and Beyonce has power. Someone like her and other major Black celebrities will bring this issue to greater lights." And they said, "Everyone prayed for Paris, London, and every nation, but no one cares about the continent." Another person said, "Don't be foolish, please. This has nothing to do with wanting Beyonce to save the whole world. She has a platform, she should use it, especially since this is what she's all about. Pro-Black, proud of African roots. Black is King will never have worked without African artists, creatives, and specifically Nigerian artists, creatives." Yes, I'm shouting. You're mesmerized by the African culture. You should be concerned about her troubles as well. It's all about awareness. When the system we fight where lies, this is not child's play. They're more inclined to act right. Nobody is saying it's her responsibility. Nigeria is the most populous Black nation. If you're going to ride on the coattails of your 20% African heritage for your projects, talking to everyone now, Then you can also write for Africa and all its issues. And before you start, Nigerians protested during the BLM movement. And for Americans, as long as you're black, the media will describe you as African American first. Don't matter if your family is not from here. Act right, please. So I see why a lot of people were upset that she called Beyonce out for not speaking up. Nobody likes being called out. When the BLM started and the protest started, some people were called out and there was some backlash because nobody likes to be called out. What happens when you call a person out is that you put them on the spot and they suddenly realize that they have not spoken out about something they probably should speak out about, and they feel embarrassed, they feel all the negative attention, they feel eyes on them, and they react in a very strong and negative way, and they don't like that. It's not a good feeling. But we say that all the time, though. We know nobody likes to be called out, but let's look at the other side. The other side of the matter is that people get called out only after they don't speak out for a long time after something has happened. So rather than focusing on the person that calls a person out, sometimes we need to focus on the reason why other people did not speak out for so long. You know, when the BLM protest started, the truth of the matter is the people that were calling other people out kind of forced more people to join in and make it bigger than what it is. Nobody wants to be the one that did not speak up for something positive, you know, and I'm not talking about just the African Americans, I'm talking about the non-African Americans too. A lot of the non-black people that spoke out because when people were being called out, they suddenly realized, wait, I should say something. It's not right if I don't say something. And these are the ones with, you know, a good heart and common sense to begin with. And they decided to say something because someone else has been called out and they feel like, yeah, they probably should say something as well. So it makes it a bigger issue, which is more likely to be addressed properly. So I don't support calling people out either. I would always say call them first. If you have their phone number, DM them. If you don't have their phone number, find another way to reach them privately. If you've tried and you don't succeed and it's a serious situation and time is running out, then you can go on social media and call them out. So I'm not a supporter of calling people out either. With that being said, let me talk about a lot of the things that a lot of people missed. People are saying, first of all, that Beyonce did a lot for Africa and for Nigeria. I don't know what she did exactly, but a lot of African artists are actually very big around the world. They may not be big here in the States, but they're big in Europe. They're very big around the world. They're certainly very big in Africa. Okay, so African artists are not waiting or hoping or depending on American artists to help them with their career, because African music, first of all, is more widely accepted in Africa than any other music. So the kind of music that African artists make is not something that you need another, like an American artist to co-sign for you. It's just, it's too different, it's too unique, it's too much of its own thing that American artists do not help the way that people think that they help. Beyonce certainly did not help Nigeria in any way. She just featured, you know, some artists and the music was a big deal and they like her over there, so they promoted her. And that's about the extent of it. She did not promote Nigerian culture at all. Nigerian culture is all over. It's already widely known. So I don't know what she did that people are talking about. So to address what I think people misunderstood with Tiwa Savage's video, Tiwa Savage called out people that she thinks have a vested interest in African culture. She also called out people that, or companies that have benefited in a way, one way or another, from African arts. She did not only call out Beyonce, she called out Coca-Cola, she called out Amazon, she called out Nike, Spotify, SoundCloud, international press in general, CNN, MTV, E! News. She called out a bunch of companies. Beyonce is just one of the people that she called out because she recently made music with Beyonce. Beyonce recently used African Nigerian artists and producers and professionals basically in her arts to specifically promote blackness basically. So she has a very close relationship with the idea of being black and black being a good thing and something to be celebrated. So Beyonce's music and her album, and specifically the music that she featured Tiwa Savage in, is very closely related to the idea of BLM. So it makes sense that she would call out Beyonce just as she called out all these other people and companies. So for some reason, people sort of miss the fact that she called out all these other companies and only focused on the fact that she called out Beyonce. But Beyonce was not the only person she called out. And I'm saying that it makes sense for her to call out Beyonce. If you're going to use a country's culture that much in your artwork, knowing that you're an international celebrity and you have hundreds of millions of followers on your social media, it literally takes a few seconds to type a hashtag and put it on your social media to draw attention to the people whose culture you've used and gained from. You know, it does not cost millions of dollars. She does not even have to get out of bed to do something. She doesn't have to make a phone call. Nobody is saying she has to call the president and call the governor and fly over there and do a photo op or any of that. She literally can just post things from her bedroom. So there's really no excuse. And I also saw a lot of people saying that Beyonce works quietly. She works behind the scenes. She doesn't really post things that much. And she's probably already doing something. And I understand why they would assume that she's doing something. It's because they have this positive view of her. And it makes sense for them to assume she's doing something. But, you know, it's also positive. It's also possible that she's not doing anything. And it did not occur to her to say something because things happen around the world all the time and we don't all post about everything that happens around the world. So it's possible that it just did not occur to her to say anything. If working behind the scenes was so effective, why did Beyonce make a video about BLM? Why didn't she stay in the background and work in the background the way she's supposedly doing in this case? Well, clearly that doesn't always work, does it? It doesn't always work it helps to say something and have your followers see you say something and take a stand vocally a lot of the times. So let's not act as if we don't realize the importance of that. Tiwa Savage also recognized some people that did say something. She did give a shout out to Trey Songz, Cardi B, Drake, and Lil Baby. And all of these people have not used Nigerian culture half as much as Beyonce have. They probably do not have the same ties to as many professionals and have not really gotten to experience and gain from African culture as much as Beyonce have. But they still said something about it. And the fact that the whole world, even Nigeria, protested for BLM, which is happening here in this country, it just goes to show that you don't have to have hundreds of millions of dollars in order to stand for something and speak out. And the fact that the whole world spoke out against BLM is really instrumental in the progress that is being made and is going to be made regarding BLM. You know, the problem isn't solved yet, but something is being done at least. At least the authorities are taking these matters just a little bit more seriously now than they previously were because the whole world is watching. And that happened because in different countries, people were protesting for BLM, including in Nigeria. So it's very sad that Nigerians that are even, they have their own problems to deal with, but still they were able to take the time to protest for BLM that is happening all the way across the world in this country. But people in this country are leaving ignorant, dumb, stupid comments on social media about how Beyonce cannot save the world, and African Americans have their own things to worry about. As if all problems have to be solved before you worry about somebody else's problem. It just is, the ignorance is just insane. And it kind of makes me want to address the negativity that Africans get on social media. I've seen this many times. I've seen a lot of negative comments saying that Africans do not like African Americans. This couldn't be further from the truth, because you do not protest for the protection of people that you do not like. Just imagine for 1 second if people in the US, they cannot take the time to send a simple post or a hashtag to protect people in Nigeria. However, people in Nigeria took the time to do an actual protest for people here in the United States. The same African Americans that claim that Africans hate them, you know? So it's just really sad. This whole thing is really bringing people to light and really showing people for who they really are. And the fact of the matter is, if there is no unity, this is going to be a very tough fight for all of us, because you cannot separate one act of violence against group A from in one country from another act of violence to the same group of people. And regardless of where a person was born, if they have dark skin, if they are black and they're in the United States, it doesn't matter where they were born. It doesn't matter where their parents were born. It doesn't matter how many years or days they've spent in the United States. They will be subject to the same treatment. So while African Americans believe that the whole world should support BLM and help them make progress in their plights, they should also recognize that they have to support other people as well, especially if they're using those people's culture, which is simply what Tiwa Savage was saying. She's simply saying that all these people, because all the platforms that she mentioned, like Amazon, Spotify, SoundCloud, they all benefit from African culture. Sure, they put African music on there and give more exposure to their music, but they benefit too. It's not charity. They all gain something. So if you're gaining something from a culture and they're experiencing negativity and they have supported you in the past, the least you can do is bring more attention to their own problems, which is all Tiwa Savage was trying to say. I just wanted to clear it out because the ignorance was just too much. As soon as I read the comments, I got a headache. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to waste the rest of my Sunday making this video, because it's too much ignorance for a group of people to have. It's just too much. Too much. So that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next one. Bye, guys.